So we're talking to Dylan from Alabama, who is a former fundamentalist and wants to know how he copes with the fact that his friends and family mourn him while he is alive.
Dylan, you're on with Jimmy and Richard. What is going on, man?
Hi, I'm so sorry I couldn't hear you there for a second.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. Go ahead.
Hi. Did you guys get my little prompt before?
Prompt. You're a former fundamentalist. How do you cope with the fact that your friends and family mourn you while you're alive? Richard, that's what Richard just read. Is there something else?
I guess that's kind of it. I'm very much surrounded by fundamentalist beliefs, Southern Baptists. You know the gist. So
yeah, it's. I'm going to let Jamie lead with this one. Jamie is a former believer himself, and has probably had some of that to deal with in his own life. So I'm going to let Jimmy take the lead on this one. All
right. So Dylan, if I'm not mistaken, you're kind of maybe asking for a perspective from both Richard and I, or maybe an opinion, some advice. I want to steer clear of giving you advice per se, not like a professional counselor or anything, but I am a smart guy, I guess. I mean, they hired me to come here. They pay me a lot of money to be here. I don't know about the other hosts, but in any case, I'm here to, help the best I can. I grew up religious, and it was a shock, I think, to people when I came out and said I don't believe this anymore. I mean, I didn't make some kind of big announcement at first. I kind of just subtly started to kind of lay the hints down. And then, went straight into the angry atheist phase, where I just lashed out at the world around me because I was, just a pissed off young man. But that being said, in my experience, the more vocal you are about it, the more pushback you tend to get. Like, people are probably okay to tolerate you, if you will, if you're not like all up in. That works the same way for us. We are more likely to tolerate people who are religious or who think differently of us, right? Or think differently than us, if they're not kind of touting it all over the place. So, I think that if they really are your friends, that they'll understand. Okay, they'll understand. They will give you the benefit of the doubt, and they will see the importance you play in their life. That's my opinion, because people are willing to turn their backs on their friends. For family, we don't choose our family, man. So it is okay to not get along with family if they are not supportive of you, or if they are,
Thank you for
not. If they are not, excuse me, I got distracted by something. But anyway, if they are not. Losing my train of thought here. So yeah, I mean, if your family is not supportive of you, fortunately you control that. You don't have to be family with them anymore. You know what I mean? That's a hard thing for people to swallow. Dylan, are you still with us? I think we might have lost you. Yeah, I think Dylan lost. I think we lost Dylan. Okay. Well, I'm just going to wrap up what I was saying to Dylan. I don't know if that was helpful to him, but basically what I'm trying to say is that, we can't please everybody. We have the right to believe what we want. It's going to be a hard life around people who disagree with us and that we rely on for, kind of our social allegiances or just our everyday life. And sometimes you might have to just move on. So I don't know. Dylan, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay, cool. I just kind of rambled a bit. I know that you had some phone difficulty, but what do you have to say about all that right now?
Okay, so fun fact, I didn't hear anything of what you said.
Woo! All right.
Okay, well,
I can't put our viewers through that again. I barely survived that. I got a little bit distracted with the fact that we lost you, and I was trying to maintain. But let me just tell you this, man. You can't please everybody, right? There are going to be people that are worth keeping around and people that you don't have to keep around. And it doesn't matter if they're your friend or family. And so that's kind of a decision that you have to make. How much can you take and how much you're going to tolerate before you have to turn your back on people? I think that's my opinion. I don't know. Richard, do you have anything on that?
Yeah, I think, look, it's it's a difficult one for me to really kind of say anything on, because I've not been a religious person. I've not lost friends and family through to it. I think the most important thing is to show them that you are still a good person. To show them that you know, just because you've lost your faith, you've not lost your humanity, and by being, you know, showing that you still love them as your friends and family, showing that you're still interested in doing good things. You've not just suddenly lost your faith and therefore you're going to start running around murdering people. That's not something that you're going to do. You know, let them see atheism in action. Let them see the fact that you are no longer have a belief in God. That is not something for which they can mourn you for. They're not mourning you. They're mourning the kind of the belief that they thought you had. Show them that you've not changed as a person. Show them that you still love them. Show them that you can still go out and have dinner with them, you know, have a laugh with them, do all the things you used to do with them. And that it's not affected you as a person and your relationship towards them. Let them know that, you know, when they are mourning you while you're alive, they are not mourning you because you are still there. What it is specifically that belief that you once held, and show them that that won't change you as a person and that you're still going to be there for them.
Right. Can I interject something?
Of course, yeah.
I really do appreciate you answering my question and giving me the advice that I need. I am currently working on those things. I will say I feel like me being 21 and just kind of not completely freshly out of the church, I'd say I officially left whenever I was about 17 or 18, right before college. But I feel like I still have some resentment towards my parents, and no matter how many times I talk to them and tell them things from my point of view, I think of things very rationally, scientifically, and I try to maintain respect for them as my parents because they do love me and I love them. But whenever they told me that they would choose their religion over pretty much anyone in their life, especially me, every time, it put me in a really bad place mentally. You know, whenever your dad says to you, you know, I love you and I'll always support you, but I'll never support this thing about you. That being my sexuality, as I'm gay, but also, you know, that I don't believe anymore. I guess I'm just trying to understand what I should prioritize, like my well-being, like mental health wise, or whether it should just be kind of like the elephant in the room and unspoken, or
can it be both?
I did come up with, yeah.
Can it be both? Because the thing is, I would always say, I will, and you know, if you've heard me on these calls before, I always have said, your number one priority is to yourself, to your own well-being. But if you're in a situation where you can maintain that well-being while still maintaining this relationship, because it sounds like you're kind of in a position where you know, it's not one of these positions where they've kicked you out and they don't want anything to do with you. They've still let you know that they still love you as a person, and you know, let that be the focus. And the way you turn around and kind of assess this through, rather than looking at, well, they hate the fact that I'm an atheist, they hate the fact that I'm gay. Take on board that they do still love you, and if you can kind of infuse that with your own well-being, you know, and your own mental wellness, let that happen. Of course, if you can't, if it is too much, then you need to make a decision around that. But if you're in that position where, you know, this isn't something, if you can make it an elephant in the room and be happy with that, that's not necessarily a bad place to be. I was like that when before my mom's dead now, but she had some strange political views, did my mom. And we didn't agree on lots and lots of things politically, but we just didn't talk about it. It didn't diminish the love we had for each other. You know, we still loved each other right until she passed on, and we had a strong connection with each other. We just didn't talk about the weird shit that she believed in. And you know, if your self-care can include that elephant in the room, then there's not really any harm to having that elephant in the room. And again, I'd want to stress that if it can't, then you might need to take steps to address that. But it's not, having an elephant in the room isn't the end of the world. And I just want to let you know, Dylan, that our chat is showing lots and lots of love for you. You are really, really appreciated.
That makes me feel really good and validated, actually. So,
yeah, Dylan, you're fine the way you are, man. Like, there's nothing wrong with you, you know. And I echo what Richard had just said to you, but I will tell you, I've been around, you know, twice as long as you have, and so I think I'm a little bit further down the road from you. And I actually reached a point where I put my foot down, and I refuse to not be accepted for who I am anymore. You know, there's a feeling out period, I think, that people go through, and they as you develop, I mean, you're still pretty young, and as you come into who you are, you understand what's going to work for you, and you know what you're willing to tolerate, or what your relationship will be or needs to be with the people around you. And you know, it's okay to get to a point and say, this is not okay. Okay, so that is also always a possibility, and I want you to have the strength to work to that point, and stay happy and mentally healthy, if that makes sense. So with that, I think that's all I got. Dylan, any response to myself or Richard?
I appreciate you guys. I guess you guys is that, I don't think that's the correct.
I'm in New York, so that would actually fly. Use guys? Yeah, I mean, that's good.
Wow. But so I appreciate your advice. I feel very validated. And honestly, this is the first conversation I've ever had with an actual adult that has validated my, I guess, my identity and my belief system. Or not even belief. Well, I guess lack of belief. But yeah, it feels pretty good.
That's great.
Dylan, look, listen, the chat's giving you lots of love. If you watch this back, there's love rings going out for you. But remember, if you're happy to have these conversations, you can always call Recovering from Religion. They are a great organization who have people who man the phones, who are happy to take your calls, and who are there to listen, and if necessary, give you advice. So, you know, if this has helped you, I would, you know, encourage you to look up Recovering from Religion and give them a call as well, because they really, really are good. You know, they talk to people every single day who are in your position. So, you know, these aren't guys like me who've never been religious, who can only talk about, you know, from my personal perspective. These are people who talk to people who are in your position all the time and are in a position to really help you through it. So I really strongly recommend that you give Recovering from Religion a call if you get the opportunity to.
I'll definitely take up that offer for sure.
Excellent.
So are they in Austin as well, or?
They're I don't know where they're.
They have chapters everywhere.
Yeah, but they're all over the world. Yeah, I've just been contacted. One of them's emailed me this week, actually, who's in Britain. So yeah, they have people all over the world, but they have. We'll put a link in the show description for you if you watch this back, so you can get in touch with them and follow that link to their website and whatnot.
Yeah, Dylan, I really appreciate the call. We're gonna let you go, and I am happy to hear that you are out there having these conversations and finding yourself and accepting yourself for who you are. That's very important.